The No Nonsense Roundtable. It's a weekly show broadcast on Rochester, New York's 50,000-watt iHeart radio station, News Radio Wham 1180. The host, Dom Geneva, interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. What you are about to hear is a recording of a previous broadcast with limited commercials. Now, here's host, Dom Geneva.
This is Dom Geneva, host of No Nonsense Roundtable, but you know that because you're listening right now. Well, I have a special show for you today. I have been called away for a special town council meeting of my town, Middle Finger Lake, and I was compelled this week to make a recording for you listeners. And I have a very special show because I have 4 different segments on the show about things that will be happening in the month of April. I have Morrie Silver from the Red Wings, and he is going to be talking about opening day. And then I have Billy Goodness, who is going to be talking about his a production of a show about Burt Bacharach. I have Jimmie Highsmith, who is having his 25th year anniversary special this month. And I have a recording of a former inductee of the Rochester Music Hall of Fame, Rick Beato. And he was inducted last year, but the show is coming up this coming month in April, and you need to go see that too. So enjoy the 4 segments, and I'll let you know how we made out in Middle Finger Lake. I think there was something about Trump and the tariffs against rutabaga or something like that. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll let you know later. Bye. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are in progress of doing our special show about what's happening in April 2025. And 4 different sections. And this one is particularly interesting to me because I have a fella on the phone with me who has a name that was just destined him at a young age for greatness in the entertainment business. And his name is Billy Goodness. Bill, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good. How about yourself?
Good. Now, Bill is a local musician, and can we say composer or producer? Can we add anything to that, author or?
Well, I mean, I've done a little bit of all of that. So I guess I'm a drummer, musician, arranger in this case, and what we're talking about today, and I guess producer because I'm producing the show. So yeah, I'm playing a few different roles.
Yeah, and he has a show coming up in the near future. And to me, if you could see me, you could see I have a smile on my face because it's very interesting to me because anybody my age or in that general genre of you existed in the 60s or 70s knew a fellow by the name of Burt Bacharach. Now, Burt Bacharach was not necessarily the guy you heard that was playing his songs, but he was very, very popular, and a lot of people did record and play his songs. And Billy is having a Burt Bacharach event, I guess you would call it, performance, cover, whatever you want to call it, on April, what was it again?
April 19th. It's an evening of Bacharach, and it's taking place at the Theater at Innovation Square. And the reason for the concert is really to support music in the schools. So we're doing an entire evening of Burt Bacharach music at the theater. And like I said, it'll be going to support all, music in the schools. And that's what we're up to.
I think it's admirable. I mean, it's, we have a lot of people in Rochester that are famous or in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or have Emmys or whatever. And, that's all well and good, but this thing where there's people like you that are raising money for the city schools, I tell you, it's a cause that I can get behind because I think that music is something that makes us human. And even if you don't play professionally, for a child to be taught an instrument, to have a mentor, and that type of relationship is just good all around, Billy.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really great to support young musicians, young students in general, in music. We all see often that when schools are faced with any kind of budgetary issues, the arts seem to be the first area that gets cut. And I think that it's really important to not cut the arts because it really helps students in many, many ways, not only just in general in school. Music is very mathematical, but it's also a great emotional support system because students can feel like they're part of a group. They get that opportunity to kind of gel and create something with other students. And it's just really, really a positive thing for them to be doing. And also, music really can travel with you throughout your entire life. Whether you're going to go on to become a professional or not, we can play music for as long as we want to, and we still get that same joy out of playing music and that same connection of, getting together with our friends and making music or whatever. So to not support that in the schools, I think, is a tragedy. So I'm doing what I can to help with that.
Well, I think you're bringing up a good point because, I mean, when you look at Life All Told, you can play golf for the rest of your life. You can play tennis for the rest of your life. You can play music for the rest of your life. You're probably not going to be playing football for the rest of your life.
Probably not. You're absolutely right.
And the other thing is that when you think about it, you can't be on an iPhone and be practicing your clarinet.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. So, again, it gives you something else to focus on. It gives students something to do that's positive. And to your point, it maybe takes them out of the whole social media world for a little while they're doing something that, that just makes them feel good.
Well, and to your point, it puts them in a social media thing where they're in the same room with the people that they're interacting with. I mean, you can't have I guess theoretically you could have an orchestra, a band with people in 15 different places, but that's not really the way it works. So, so let's do a little retail on the show itself because I'm excited about coming to see it. Now, the Theater at Innovation Square is a wonderful place, great acoustics. It is a nice sort of like amphitheater within a great setting. Let's get a little bit more about how to get a ticket, how much the tickets are, and there you go. Start.
Okay, well, so Theater at Innovation Square, people might remember it as the Xerox Auditorium downtown. They've completely redone the building, and you're right, it's one of the best sounding rooms in Rochester. It's one of my absolute favorite rooms to be in. Tickets are at the theater's website, which is theaterais.com, and then just go /box office, and then just look for an evening of Bacharach, and you'll be able to get tickets. And they are reserved seating, so you can pick the seats that you want to sit in and grab them before somebody else does. Ticket price, I believe, is $25 plus some fees because there's always fees. So I think it comes out to around $31 total. And I should say that all of the proceeds from this concert are going to support music in the Rochester City School District. This is an annual event, so the 2025 concert will go to support 100% of the proceeds going to support music in the Rochester City School District.
Okay, so we got about a minute left. So why don't you name some of the songs that they're going to be listening to or hearing, the Burt Bacharach songs. Go.
So some of the songs they're going to hear that they may not know is Burt Bacharach, but they'll know the songs would be things like That's What Friends Are For, What the World Needs Now Is Love, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, Walk On By, and on and on and on. Burt Bacharach literally wrote the soundtrack to many, many of our lives, and people that didn't even grow up in that time period will recognize most of these songs.
Right, and I'd like to say about people like him and the Rascals, they have woven their way into American culture. And you may not know it's them, but you know the music. So, Billy, thank you ever so much for doing what you do. I think it's admirable that guys are taking upon themselves, guys and gals are taking upon themselves to help our youth get into this atmosphere and learning that maybe they wouldn't have without you. And God bless you for what you do.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me on. I think it's really important, and I hope that your listeners go out and get their tickets. And, the music is written, the band is rehearsed, the singers are ready. We just need some folks to be sitting in those seats and enjoy this great evening of music and support the kids.
Okay, my friend, I will see you then.
Great, I'll see you as well. You take care now.
We're going to pause now for a message or two. This is Dom Genova from my friend Jack Greco at Jack Greco Furniture. I'd invite you to go see Jack Greco if you're looking to buy furniture right now. But beyond that, I'd invite you to go see Jack Greco if you're ever going to buy new furniture. And why? You can look and dream and plan how exactly you'd like your furniture, the type of wood, construction. It's half the fun. It's going to be reflective of your taste, and quite frankly, you'll want to pass it down as an heirloom. Can't say that about the big box stores. Go see Jack. This is Dom for my friend John Myers and his new company, Life Interviews. I'm going to ask you to go look at the website he has, Life Interviews. There's no T in it, Interviews, where you'll see a fantastic presentation on what they do. And what they do is create a video legacy for you to pass down to future generations. More than just getting your DNA, you can pass down your story. Go see, you'll be amazed. It's a great idea, but do me a favor. Wait till the end of the No Nonsense Roundtable.
Well, welcome back. You are listening to the No Nonsense Roundtable. And, in April, of course, the great Rochester Music Hall of Fame has their induction for 2025. Now, I had a recording from 2024 of a fellow that was inducted last year, and his name is Rick Beato, and I'm going to have you listen to that now.
Well, welcome everybody to another edition of the No Nonsense Roundtable every Saturday, 10 o'clock right here on News Radio WHAM 1180. Now, everybody who's listened to the show, I think we've had about 300 shows so far, knows the whole idea of the show is people that you know and you need to know more about, like Don Alhart or Mayor Malik Evans or something like that. And then people that you don't know, but you should know. And I have somebody here on the line with me from out of town. He is being inducted into the Rochester Music Hall of Fame. And I think this is the only person that I've had on the show so far that is both, because it's Rick, and you pronounce the name Beato, right?
Beato.
And you're a Rochester guy, but not technically. You're from Fairport, right?
From Fairport, that's correct.
And Rick, if you're not familiar with what Rick does, Rick is a fella who has an internet presence with his YouTubes, his programs that he sells for music, the education he gives people on music and younger people and whatever. And how many followers do you have now? You have 4.1 million followers?
Yeah, 4.1 million, something like that.
And that just happens overnight, right?
Almost 8 years. At this point.
Well, the other thing that kind of amazes me, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, because if you haven't seen this before, Rick has so many videos about music, the origins of music. You break down different genres, what to listen for, what makes the best this, what makes the best that. It is really amazing. And the other thing that surprises me about you is that you're not like 30 years old. I mean, you're like our age.
I'm 62.
God bless you. God bless you. So the question I ask people all the time, and it's kind of a silly question, Rick, is when you were young, what did you want to do when what did you tell your parents you wanted to do when you were a boy? I mean, some people have had a straight line, and some people have a crooked line.
I wanted to be a musician.
Okay, but what precipitated, that had to come from, usually there's a story, somebody's family, member was, played for a big band or something. So how did that come about?
Well, I started taking lessons in the Fairport school system when I was in third grade. I started on the cello. But really what started my interest was when I broke my ankle beginning of the summer of 8th grade. And I was stuck at home on the couch, and there was a guitar there that was one of my brother's and a chord book. And so I sat there because I couldn't do anything else, and I started learning songs. And I learned songs off records, and all of a sudden I was obsessed with it. And that's what I wanted to do then. And that's what I've continued to do for, I don't know, for almost 50 years now.
That's an amazing story. Somebody else gave me a similar story to that. I can't remember who it is, but they said that they were house ridden or whatever, and they picked it up. Other people, the families had a long history of music, but you're saying your family didn't have a long history of music. You just picked it up yourself.
No, my mom's family, she's from family musicians, and two of her sisters were music teachers. She had a brother that played bass in Woody Herman's band.
Really?
Her dad played guitar, and so they're full of musicians. My dad was a huge music listener, and I have 6 other siblings, and some of them took lessons. We always had music in the house. My younger brother John's an excellent guitar player, so we're big into music in our house.
So tell me about now. You went to Ithaca College, was that it?
Yeah, for my undergraduate, and then New England Conservatory for my master's.
I think Don Eilhart went to. A couple of people went to Ithaca that are in the entertainment business. Now your son. This got precipitated by your involvement with YouTube. Got precipitated by this video that you did with your son, right?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of people think that, but the video with my son was on Facebook originally, about 8 months before I started my YouTube channel. So I had this viral video with my son Dylan, who has perfect pitch, and it was he names these insane chords, and it got millions and millions, tens of millions of views, and. But I started out in June of 2016 on YouTube with about 40 subscribers, and grew it from there. And
I almost feel guilty about asking these questions because I'm trying to get a little bit in that direction myself. How do you do that? It's just the content gets popular and you kind of wow somebody, I would imagine, right? I mean, the first 40 people had to really.
No, the first 40 people were my family members. YouTube was a way to share videos with my siblings and my friends. And then I made all those videos private, and I started my YouTube channel in 2016.
Well, you seem to enjoy it. I mean, there's light in your eyes, but you have a talent for it too. I mean, did you do any public speaking before? I know you playing the guitar or whatever, but did you do any public speaking before this?
Never did any public speaking. Never did an interview. Never did anything like that.
Yeah, and so you are. I mean, obviously, you're monetizing this now. This isn't like a hobby where it's costing you money. I mean, you have turned this into a rather substantial business.
Yeah, I mean, the YouTube pays you per view, and on the videos that are monetized, and then so I make enough to have. I have 2 assistants that help me with editing.
Okay.
I've been doing it full time now for, like I said, almost 8 years or so.
Well, and some of them are instructional. God, I sound like Casey Stengel, the Structural League. Some of them are instruction. Some of them give. You can say I don't do this for a living, right? Some of them you're giving instruction to people, and some of them are like reviews. I love it when you tell me, what are the best 20 opening guitar riffs of all time in music, and the other thing I like is, sometimes you don't pull any punches. You go, I want you to listen to something. This is really crappy.
Sure. Yeah, I mean that's I pretty much just make videos on things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And but I have a pretty wide range of things I'm interested in, so that's why I and from all genres of music, from all eras. So it's I do a lot of contemporary music. I worked as a music producer for 25 years, and I'm very well versed in classical music, jazz, and rock music, and pop music, and just
Yeah. Well, you can tell now. What do you have the most fun doing of your videos?
Oh, I don't know. I pretty much like doing all of them because, like I said, I do things that are. I only make videos on things that are fun, topics that interest me.
We'll be right back to talk more after this.
Saturday, April 19th at the theater at Innovation Square. Enjoy an evening of Bacharach. Proceeds benefiting music education in the Rochester City School District. An evening of Bacharach featuring guest performances by Russell Tompkins Jr., voice of the Stylistics, and world-renowned soprano Kirsten Piper Brown. An evening of Bacharach at the theater at Innovation Square. Get your reserved seats now at theaterais.com/box office.
Well, welcome back. You're listening to the No Nonsense Roundtable, and this section is going to feature Morrie Silver, the great, younger Morrie Silver, named after his grandfather. And this was recorded quite a while ago, so be a little patient with it, but it's really great. Well, welcome everybody to an edition of what I'm going to call Monday with Morrie, because today my guest is Morrie Silver. Morrie Silver, part of the Silver family, the founders of the Red Wings? Not founders of the Red Wings. It was a long time ago.
You guys have been around for a long time.
Like over 100 years, right?
Over 100 years. Yeah,
wow.
How about that?
But they have a long and wonderful story about the club and the history of the club and how it almost went out of business years ago. If it wasn't for your grandfather, Morrie Silver, who obviously you're named after, was an entrepreneur who had a brilliant idea to keep baseball in Rochester. And we're all better off for having baseball in Rochester. Not that many places have a AAA team. I mean,
right.
How many AAA teams are there?
Well, there's one for every major league team, so there's 29 other teams.
Okay.
So yeah, we're very fortunate, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think my grandfather could never imagine this community without baseball, and something to just enhance the lives of those who live here. So it was really important to him.
Well, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm kind of a baseball fan, but I'm more of a fan of you guys.
Sure.
You guys get it. You've woven your way into the culture of Rochester, and there are a lot of companies that don't get it. Now you're the marketing manager, so I mean, so this
is that my title?
Isn't that your title, marketing manager?
It is not my title.
That's not your title.
But I think it's in everything we do. So marketing powers everything. Whether you sell cars or you sell baseball or you sell going to. I don't know, you sell shoes, marketing powers.
Yeah, marketing. Well, the thing is that I feel like you guys get it. It's baseball wrapped around entertainment, family values. You always feel comfortable there. The tickets are affordable. Yeah. The thing that impresses me about the organization too is that when you go to a Red Wings game, your mom is right there. I mean, she could be sitting up in one of the luxury booths someplace and nice air conditioning, but she's right there in section 104 or something. I had 104, 107, whatever. Yeah. But that hands-on thing is really kind of cool.
Well, I think it all goes back to like why we're there, and why we're there is to be with the community and to be a part of it. And there's just an energy level that is being down in the crowd and amongst the people, and everyone is there having a good time, and it's much better to be down there because you hear much more of what's going on, and people like being able to see that there's a face to this organization or company that you're spending your dollars at. It's nice to feel like these people are listening to what what consumers want.
Well, you get what your product is. I talk about that all the time. A lot of the companies don't understand what their product is, and I sound like a broken record, but Kodak thought their product was pictures on pieces of paper.
Right.
It's not pictures on pieces of paper. It's imaging.
Right.
Your product is this pleasurable experience that you give to people, and it happens to be at a ballpark.
For sure. For sure.
And it's just inviting. Now tell people, because we like to keep these YouTubes kind of short.
Yeah.
Tell people about the history there, because the club almost went out of business when who were they associated with at the time?
We were affiliated with the Cardinals.
Okay.
And back then it was the big league teams. It was much more common for the big league teams to own their minor league teams.
Okay.
And so the Cardinals owned the Red Wings, and I think it's better said that they were going to sell the team because they wanted to move it to a different market, and they were going to move the team out of Rochester, I should say. And so, my grandfather couldn't imagine this community without baseball and the people living there without having something like what a baseball team represents to the community. So he launched a stock drive in 1957, and it was called the 72-Day Miracle, where 8,221 other shareholders bought stock in the Red Wings. And, this could be, it was a lot of, people in the neighborhood or in Rochester wanting to buy a share or two. And then he bought what was remaining to make him the 8,222 the shareholder to wrap it all up. So, that's how we became the majority shareholder, and we have his number retired at the ballpark. Yeah, not like anyone would wear that number, but as a
well, I don't know why I've been so oblivious about it, but I never, the 8221, I always saw that back out, where the retired numbers were, and I had no idea what that meant. Yeah. Well, at least I learned something today.
And it's nice because it sparks conversation with players. And, players see a lot of retired numbers. It doesn't really draw, you almost become numb to it. But 8,222 is almost, it gives you pause, and it makes you ask the question. And, it's a very nice story to be able to tell. Yeah.
So opening day is like 8 weeks away.
Yeah.
And it's April 1st.
Yep.
So what kind of crazy stuff do you have planned for April 1st? You got to have something.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have something.
We have a lot of the things that people love. We'll have Bruce the Bat Dog, which I'm sure you're a big fan of. Bruce the Bat Dog will be there, and we'll do a lot of the things that people have grown to love and have grown accustomed to expect when going to a ball game, because it is not, like you said, it's not just about the score or how many hits or who's playing. It's really about the entertainment, and baseball is like our vehicle that we can provide that entertainment through. So, we'll have a lot of fun opening day festivities, and opening day, which should be a national holiday, is something that just says that the summer's here, or soon to be. So it really stands as just something bigger than just the first game of the year. So
no, and the thing is that baseball for my family. Yeah, we have two girls, and there's only so much stuff you can do, you know. But you go to a ball game, and it's quiet. It's not like going to a football game, right? And you can have a discussion with your child about, how does school go, or you're having a problem with this or whatever. And my daughter, one of my daughters in particular would sit there and score the game, and just get really into it. Yeah. And it doesn't make any difference where you sit. For sure. At Innovative Field. I mean, the seats are all fantastic. Yeah. So.
Well, we're lucky there. That's a ballpark that's 30 years old. Yeah. And really has stood the test of time of, ballparks have gotten built twice over in the time that we've been at our ballpark. So, it's amazing.
I mean, the architecture of it is fantastic. You go to some of these other ballparks, they look like bunkers.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, just absolute bunkers, and that's not the way you guys look. You guys look great. So.
We pulled a lot of inspiration from Camden Yards.
Oh, yeah.
You can't go wrong when you do that, So.
Well, talking about Camden Yards, I mean, look at the guys that have gone through your organization, too. Cal Ripken Jr. and, I mean, geez.
Don Baylor, Bobby Grich, some really unbelievable names in the baseball world.
Yeah.
And their first stop was here, and it's it gives young kids who may only know Hall of Famers or may only know the superstars to have to think that someone as big as Cal Ripken came through Rochester is unbelievable.
Yeah, my daughter, when she was a young girl, was very fond of Terry Tiffy. So
Terry Tiffy. That's a good name.
So in her bedroom, now she lives in South Bend now, as you know, but in her bedroom we have one of Terry Tiffy's shoes.
Wow.
So signed by Terry Tiffy.
Wow.
Where the other shoe is, no idea.
Yeah, well, that's funny. Terry Tiffy provided a lot of unbelievable walk-off moments. In a year we went to the championship. So he holds a special heart and a special place in a lot of hearts for fans during that time.
Yeah. Well, I think we're about out of time, Morrie and I are going to be talking about business marketing, and he's going to teach me stuff that young people know, and I'm going to teach him stuff that old people know. One of the things, seriously, every once in a while I get a chance to give a talk at RIT, so a business class, and I said, there's something that young people and old people both have to be careful of, and that's the old guy looking at the young guy going, he doesn't know what he's doing, he hasn't been through the wars, and the young guy looking at the old guy and saying, that guy's just an old fart, he doesn't know what. But when you have a collaboration of people that have different skills, that's when you get a team, right? So we're making a team of two. So thank you for listening, looking, and whatever, and maybe we'll do more of this later.
Yeah, we
should. All right. Hey, guys, see ya.
We'll be right back after this. This is Don for my friend Todd, who owns Martinizing Dry Cleaning in Fairport. Like I like to say to you, he picks your clothes up and he drops your clothes off. Why schlep them yourself? I love the word schlep. You can save your time and your effort and your gas and do other things rather than take your clothes back and forth. They do a great job. Their number is 425-4242, 425-4242. Use them. I do all the time.
Well, welcome back. We're talking today with Jimmie Highsmith, who happens to have a program coming up in April about, his 25 years in the music business. And quite frankly, he's got some tickets to sell, as does one of my other guests. Well, welcome back. I told you that this is going to be a show about stuff that is happening in April. And I have a good friend of mine on the phone right now, Jimmie Highsmith. Jimmie Highsmith, a jazz musician and more. I mean, he's a lot of talent. He's celebrating his 25th year in the music business, and a Rochester guy. And let me have you introduce a little bit about yourself to people who haven't seen you on the last or heard you on the last show, Jimmie.
Well, good morning, Dominic. You are amazing. It's such an honor to be on this show once again. So I am Jimmie Highsmith Jr. I am an urban contemporary musician, that's what I call myself. And I'm having a show on April 5th at my alma mater, School of the Arts, celebrating 25 years as a master recording artist. I got my first national radio play in the spring of 2000 on several stations around the country, including CD 101.9 in New York City, DXN in Rochester, New York, WBOK in Buffalo, BET Jazz Central on the TV show, and many, many more. And it's been a great ride for 2.5 decades. And I'm forever grateful for that. So this show is featuring some amazing talent. It's going to have the School of the Arts Jazz Ensemble, who I've been working with. Some kids I mentor named the Finnish Seppo Brothers. They're from Finland, actually, as well as an all-star band with Eastman alumni and a featured guest, Billy Easley, who was actually my cousin who played with Art Blakey, George Benson, Isaac Hayes, Dionne Warwick, and many, many more, and a slew of Broadway appearances, as well as the amazing Wycliffe Gordon trombonist from the Whitman Septet, Links to the Jazz Orchestra, and actually nominated to be the number one trombone player in the world for the last 10 years by Downbeat magazine. So that's a bit of the show in a nutshell.
Well, the thing that I appreciate about what you're doing, Jimmie, is that you are doing this for for the youth in Rochester and getting them involved in music, which is a wonderful thing. This, we have another guest on the show this week, Billy Goodness. The same thing. He's doing a Burt Bacharach deal for the benefit of the Rochester City Schools. And the thing is that since it's not, this stuff isn't taught in schools years ago like it was in public schools. I mean, somebody's got to take up this charge, to get people interested, young people interested in it. And the other thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody gets interested in music and they do it professionally. They get interested in music as something to do, and that's part of what makes us human, Jimmie, right?
I agree. I mean, it's really unfortunate the way the music programs have been decimated, particularly in the urban schools around the country over the last 20 years. When I was a kid, every school had a marching band, every school had a jazz ensemble. And I was just at school the arts yesterday with your jazz ensemble. We're talking about there's only 3 in Rochester that I know of, which is School of the Arts, Woodland Curry, and I think Edison Tech, and that's it. The kids aren't being given the opportunity to learn how to play trombone, saxophone, trumpet, they're just not given opportunities. So if I can introduce music to some of these students and show them how beneficial it's been to me in my life, is taking me to 4 continents in the world playing music, maybe it might spark interest in them to learn an instrument. And there are a lot of programs out there that I work with and others work with. Some are free to get these kids lessons if they want to, take up an instrument actually. So yeah, it's very important, I think, to spend some time learning music.
Well, I think people don't understand too how one individual can have such an effect. I've seen you play at different places. One was the mayor's inaugural ball, and you're playing your sax, and you have some backup music there. And I mean, my lord, it sounded like. It sounded like it could be I don't know, a whole orchestra that you're playing with. It's quite extraordinary what you do. And then Jimmie does, for anybody that doesn't know, he does something he calls like cool jazz. Like you listen to it and you kind of get into a groove, and it makes you feel good and whatever. I mean, there are a lot of different types of jazz. I mean, there's New Orleans jazz and there's bebop and whatever. But you do really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to this. This event that you have on April 5th. So let's go over it a couple of times here. It's April 5th. It's for the benefit of the School of the Arts, right?
Well, I'm not benefiting them directly. I'm showcasing their students.
Okay.
But it's just celebrating my 25 years in the national as a national recording artist. The interesting thing about this show, which is going to be fun to me, is that for the last 25 years, my music has been pretty much that feel good. They call it smooth jazz.
Mm-hmm.
My intent is to try to touch people emotionally and intimately with my music. I want to play something that everybody can feel good about and attach themselves to. I love straight ahead jazz, but unfortunately, the audience for that music is very small because it's such a unique style with a small palette of love. So this show, I'm playing not smooth jazz, but some of the standards out of the American songbook, straight ahead jazz. So this is my first time playing a show that's strictly straight ahead jazz.
Yeah.
No smooth jazz at all. And it's gonna be fun, and it's a challenge for me because this music is a lot more intellectual and difficult, in my opinion, than some of the smoother stuff I play. But I'm looking forward to a great time. And again, I have the Soda Jazz Ensemble playing, and they're going to do some great tunes they worked hard on. And then there's Elias and Aaron Seppo, some young men I mentor who are playing some really good jazz tunes. And you're going to be really impressed with them. They're 13 and 11 years old, and they're simply amazing. And then you got my band, which is with Professor Bob Snyder from Eastman, Professor Jeff Campbell from Eastman, jazz great Tony Haller on drums, and jazz great Greg Herman on keys with myself, Bill Easley, and Wycliffe Gordon. So it's going to be a great night of music.
You're getting me excited about this now. I was excited before. Now you got really excited. So let's tell people how to get tickets again.
Simply call me at 585-666-0019. I can meet you anywhere with a ticket, or you can pay remotely through Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, credit card over the phone, whatever is convenient for you. I have tickets available still. There will be some at the door as well, but I encourage you to buy them ahead of time. It's going to be an exciting evening of music and fun. More importantly, fun, a celebration. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be epic.
Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'll do this for you. If you want tickets, go to nononsenseroundtable.com and go to the contact me page, and I'll put you in touch with Jimmie, to get tickets and whatever. I will be the unpaid middleman on this deal, to help facilitate you selling some tickets on this, and God bless you for what you do. You got talent. You've become like another brother to me over the years, and I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate how you support and back me. Your respect for me is really not deserved by me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 5th. And the time of the show is what time? It's like 7 or 7:30, right?
The show's at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30 in the School of the Arts main theater, and it's at 45 Prince Street, right downtown Rochester. And yes, Dominic, I love you. Anita, my brother from another mother, my sister from a different mister. I love you both dearly, and I appreciate everything you do for me and the whole Rochester community, man. You're an awesome individual. Quite a hoot. Yes, and one good thing is you like my sauce. I do like your sauce. I'm around for a reason. If you have not had Dominic's cooking, you've not arrived in the world. You've missed out. Yeah, maybe he's an amazing chef.
Maybe someday we'll do a cooking show. Jimmie, thank you ever so much for calling in, and I'll see you on the 5th.
Yes, sir. Love you guys. Take care. Blessings.
Well, thank you for listening. Just remember, every Saturday, 10 o'clock, you can listen to the No Nonsense Roundtable right here, or get the past shows on nononsenseroundtable.com.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.